Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Kudzai, and if you aren't new here, then welcome back. This is a new little setup. I feel like I want to call this corner of my room Kudzai's corner. I'm seated in this little corner, you know a real good video is about to go down. I don't even want to sit on this video and complain and talk about how inconsistent I have been. If you've been on my channel, I have been posting, but just not posting original content, if that makes sense. I've been resharing my videos that I've been posting on TikTok. That's the truth of where I've been. I've been more active on TikTok. It's just really hard to balance the two. I feel like I can't even say I'm going to try harder because I keep saying that. It's quite embarrassing at this point. Anyways, I knew if I was to come back and do a sit down video, it had to be a good one. It had to be one worth your while, and what better video is there to do than a Beyonce video. If this video goes as planned, this will be posted on Beyonce's birthday. Happy birthday to our Virgo queen. This is my gift to you. Today we're going to be discussing the genius of Beychella, one of the most iconic and talked about performances of all time. We'll be touching on the history behind it, a breakdown of the performance, the visuals, the homecoming documentary, and the legacy that this has left on the music industry. Because the truth is, with Beyonce, she never does anything half-assed. She never just gives us a performance. There is always deeper meanings, layers, and messages behind the art that she displays. Quick disclaimer, as you can imagine, I have done a lot of research and I put a lot of time and effort into this video, but with most things of this magnitude, it's almost impossible for me to detail every aspect of this performance. There will be things that are missing in this breakdown. However, that doesn't negate the importance of them. That doesn't negate the messaging. Truth is, I just don't have all the time in the world to discuss everything that I'd love to. Let's get straight into it. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, whatever it is to get yourself comfortable, and let's deep dive into this video. So awkward. There's literally a bus stop right in front of my house, and they're always double-decker buses, so it's like everyone can see me. Anyways, Beychella is considered one of the most celebrated and impactful pop culture events of the 2010s. Yes, the 2010s, guys. I cannot believe it myself. It has been 7 years since this iconic performance, and 7 years later, I'm still speechless when it comes to this performance. Well, clearly not, because I'm doing this video, but you know what I mean. If you don't know what Beychella is, first of all, I don't believe you. Like, everyone knows what Beychella is. Everyone knows where they were when Beychella happened. If you don't remember it, then like where have you been? Have you actually been living under a rock? If you didn't know, Beychella is the colloquial nickname that refers to Beyonce's 2018 Coachella performance. Throughout this video, I'll be referring to her Coachella performance as Beychella, since that's what it's mostly known as and that's what it's mostly referred to as. I think it just makes it a whole lot easier rather than saying Beyonce's Coachella performance or Coachella performance. Beychella just rolls off the tongue easily. Now that that's out of the way, for 2 weekends in April of 2018, Beyonce graced the stage and performed her heart out as the headliner on the Coachella stage. She gave us a performance of a lifetime, one that we would never forget. The historic part, she was the first black woman to ever do this. Beyonce made history in 2018 as the first black woman to ever headline Coachella.
Coachella, thank you for allowing me to be the first black woman to headline Coachella.
This is an opportunity that she didn't waste. She didn't just give us a performance and make history and call it a day. Beyonce did much more than that. Instead, she turned the stage into a tribute to HBCUs, also known as historically black colleges and universities. It became more than just a performance. It became more than just entertainment. It was a movement, a cultural reset, and a chance to educate people on Black Americans' journey to freedom, agency, and cultural expression. Sorry if the lighting changed a little bit. Coachella always falls on or near my birthday, so you can imagine the FOMO that I felt knowing that Beyonce was not only making history as being the first black woman to headline Coachella after 19 years. I myself was turning 19 years old and I wasn't able to witness this historic moment live in the flesh. I just had to witness it on a live stream. The lighting changes. It's becoming very fun. I'm gonna have changes throughout this video with the lighting just being off, and it's stressing me out. I don't need this. whatever. Beyonce was in fact scheduled to headline Coachella in 2017, but then she fell pregnant with the twins, which she also experienced a very traumatic C-section birth of her twins. So you can only imagine the recovery process for that. If you know anything about postpartum, pregnancy, motherhood, all those things that entail the birth of a child, bringing forth life into this world, you'll understand that that's not a small thing to do. And the fact that Beyonce had a huge performance like this coming up and she decided to wait just 6 months until she began working on Coachella performance is crazy. That's a lot of stress on the female body. 6 months is not a long time. They say that for your body to return back to how it was before the pregnancy, you have to wait at least a year of that child's life. And the fact that Beyonce waited 6 months before she started putting her body through more stress to prepare for this performance is wild, but that's also Beyonce. The opening of Beychella begins with a gorgeous ensemble of a drumline band. From the moment Beyonce graces the stage and interacts with the band, we immediately understand what is going on. Beyonce has created her very own homecoming football game. So again, what is a HBCU? HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. These institutions have long been centers of culture, community, and intellectualism. Beyonce created her very own homecoming game, complete with a marching band, majorettes, step routines, and custom school colors. On weekend 1, Beyonce wore black and yellow, signifying the Beyhive, signifying that she is Queen Bee. On weekend 2, she wore pink and black. To further add to the greatness, Beyonce's band was mostly made up of HBCU alumni. Talk about authenticity. We love an authentic queen. Not only did she pay homage to HBCUs throughout this performance, but it was important for her to remain true to HBCU culture and actually have real HBCU alumni. The intentionality, you can't make that up. This performance is captivating from start to finish. If you're like me, you have watched this performance over and over again on Netflix or on YouTube or whatever, and each and every time you watch the entire performance, you just get chills. At least I know I do. But there is one particular segment of this entire performance that really stood out to me that I want to mention in this video, and that is the moment that Beyonce introduced us to the Bugaboos. Again, with the lighting, guys, we are introduced to the Bugaboos in the roll call. In this segment, when introducing themselves to the crowd, each dancer is named after one of Beyonce's iconic songs, those being Ave Maria, Sweet Dreams, Disappear, and so on and so forth. This interlude, along with the choreography, makes the performance seem like a real community. It's almost like everyone on stage and in the crowd and viewing on live stream are a part of a real life HBCU. Now here's where the genius comes in. When Beyonce commands the Bugaboos to make her laugh, they sort of hesitate nervously. They sort of do their little gimmick reluctantly. I interpreted it as that moment being a nod to fraternity hazing. In the US, fraternity hazing is any form of activity that usually falls under demeaning and embarrassment in order to initiate somebody into a fraternity club. Of course, it would make sense that Beyonce would have to initiate them into the club. In this instance, the club being the stage, the performance, Beychella. This is the only way it can be done because this is what commonly happens in US colleges. Beyonce has brought the HBCU experience to the Coachella stage. It's a minor detail like that that just proves to me how intentional Beyonce was with this performance, and it just showcases how much thought and cultural research went into every beat of this show. 10, 10, 10s across the board. Throughout the set, Beyonce layers her southern black heritage in the music. We see this when she samples Nina Simone's Lilac White, when she sprinkles Caribbean and West African rhythms into her choreography, when she references hip-hop, R&B, soul, funk, gospel, even quoting Malcolm X. In doing all of this, Beyonce is knowingly building a sonic museum of black history and culture in real time. I must say, the Jay-Z and Solange and Destiny's Child cameos, chef's kiss, just made it all the more iconic. Adding her family into this historic moment was just the icing on the cake and a reminder to everyone that this not only was a tribute to HBCUs, but it was also a tribute to her personal legacy. In the words of B,
you are the visual, baby.
all of Beyonce's costumes for Beychella were designed by the one and only Olivier Rousteing, the creative director of Balmain. He worked very closely with Beyonce's longtime stylist Marnie Senefat and Timothy White. All the pieces worn by Beyonce and her band and her dancers and everyone on that stage were carefully designed to add to the performance and make them stand out, to just overall make a statement, which they did. It was estimated that around 1,000 pieces were created for a 200-member cast, with 60 costumes created for Beyonce alone. Wow. This is why I have to just respect Beyonce and her work ethic, because she not only works hard herself, but everyone in Beyonce's team matches her level. When discussing this process with The Hollywood Reporter, Olivier was quoted saying, "In many ways, this was the biggest challenge of his life." Now, if you know anything about Olivier Rousteing and his work, he has done insane catwalks, insane fashion shows. His career is magnificent, and the fact that he worked with Beyonce and made history for Beychella, he was quoted saying that this was one of the most difficult things that he's ever had to do, just shows the levels of dedication, the time, the effort, the research, the work, the late nights that went into this in every aspect, from the visuals to the music, to the sound, to the technicians, to everything. This was a labor of love. In order to execute the costuming for Beychella, Olivier, Marnie, and Timothy all chose to immerse themselves in online videos of HBCU experiences. This was important for them to do because they not only were designing costumes for display, but they were designing costumes that were intended for intense choreography. Hats off to them for executing this in the way that they did, because the proof is in the pudding. You can see the way that they designed everything, the way that they meticulously chose each material and fabric for this performance. And like I said, this is why Beyonce is the best, because she not only exceeds her own standard, but her entire team matches her energy. Her entire team does the same thing. It just shows that to create a performance of this magnitude, you really need a dedicated team behind you who will have the same amount of passion, drive, dedication, commitment to your vision. That's the only way that Beyonce was able to pull off Beychella. Fun fact, Beyonce used a body double in the rehearsals for Beychella in order to get an idea of how the costumes would look under certain lighting. Who goes to that level of effort to make sure that your show is gonna look the way that you want it to? You just can't not respect the hustle. You just can't not respect the dedication. The most iconic costume Beyonce wears is the handmade crystal embellished bodysuit paired with a matching cape and headpiece. The Queen Nefertiti inspired look. It made so much sense because Queen Nefertiti symbolizes beauty, grace, black excellence, black female empowerment. To have our very own Queen Bee sport a Queen Nefertiti look is so intentional and so iconic. What a great way to begin a historic performance. She's seen wearing this at the entrance of the show with the crystals and the beads just dazzling off her. Beyonce works her way down the runway stage as the marching band begins to play. The first time I watched that, I couldn't close my mouth. I was literally like this. I'm not even joking, guys. I was literally like so shook. But that's how you watch Beyonce. You don't watch Beyonce and like, I don't know, you chatter away at the side. Like, you watch Beyonce in awe. You have no choice but to watch her like that. I don't care. The stage itself was designed by entertainment architect Ray Winkler and his team at Stewfish. They created a massive bleacher style pyramid that references college campuses and marching band formations. At the start of the show, they make 150 lights rise to reveal the structure of the stage. They also made an extended stage for Beyonce on the runway and a B stage. One thing about Beyonce, she always finds a way to bring herself closer to the audience so that she can see her fans up close and personal. All of this just shows it wasn't just staging, it wasn't just a performance, it wasn't just singing, it wasn't just dancing, it was storytelling. You have to be the ultimate creative and visual artist to be able to come up with this concept, and Ray Winkler himself said Beyonce was was involved from the very beginning. We already know this, but you know, some people in the media like to discredit Beyonce and say she has a whole team of people doing these things for her. No. If you watch any Beyonce documentary, you will know she is involved in every process of her show. She does not let one thing work without her say so. Nothing works without Beyonce say so. Imagine just being that much of a boss babe. It's so impressive to me. If you want to find out more about the process of building the stage for Beychella, I would highly suggest you listen to the BBC podcast. I'll link it in the description below. It's very insightful to understand the staging and the process of staging artists like Beyonce and just being a part of a historic moment like Beychella. I highly recommend listening to that podcast where Ray Winkler himself details the entire process. It was also important for Beyonce's stage to reflect real life HBCUs and to stay authentic to what that looks like. Now, on the 17th of April 2018, Beyonce released her concert documentary on Netflix titled Homecoming. This entire documentary follows the birth and the insight into the making of Beychella. You know you've done a historic performance when your one singular performance, I mean, Beyonce's gone on to do great performances since Beychella, but we know there's something about Homecoming. Beyhive knows this documentary was special. Narrated and directed by the Queen herself. One thing about Beyonce, she's gonna control the narrative each and every time. Homecoming shares all the intricate details that went into the making of this iconic performance. This film gives us behind the scenes access to the grueling 8-month process leading up to Beychella. We see her strict diet, intense rehearsals, and her balancing act of motherhood, recovery, and artistry. I will never get over that scene where Beyonce is listing all the foods that she cannot eat on this Coachella diet. She closes the statement with, "and I'm hungry." That clip will never leave my mind because it's just like she had a very human moment where she was like, this is getting to a point where it's like, it's too much. But she continued and she persevered. That level of discipline is truly insane. Homecoming not only serves as a digital artifact to a historic performance, but many fans, including myself, rewatch it time and time again for motivation. If you are ever in need of a reminder to work hard on your goals and push yourself, whether that's for the gym or other life goals, watch Homecoming. Trust me, you won't regret it. And of course, Mother did not leave us hanging. She also dropped the Homecoming live album on music streaming platforms for us to listen to our heart's content. So we not only have access to the visual performance of a lifetime, but we have access to it on audio so that we can listen to it anywhere on the go. She really did her big one with that. Beyonce exceeded her own standards and expectations when headlining Coachella. Must I remind you guys that this is a festival that was known to be dominated mostly by white acts, and the fact that Beyonce was the first black headliner in 19 years and she achieved this level of greatness with one performance cannot be understated. She completely reinvented Coachella. It was no longer called Coachella. It has become Beychella, and that is how hard she went to create a long-lasting statement with her performance. What a time to be alive where the greatest living entertainer is a black woman. She ate that. Like, what a privilege it is to know that you are living amongst greatness. Like, we are living, breathing this earth whilst an entertainer like Beyonce exists. With Beychella, Beyonce had one job. She had one job and she took it very seriously, making her performance a place to educate, entertain, and empower the masses. Most importantly, following the performance, Beyonce announced a Homecoming Scholars Program where she chose to donate $100,000 to 4 HBCUs, giving back to the culture she showcased to the world. Just like her self-titled album changed the music release calendar forever, after Beychella, the standard of live shows and live performances increased massively. It shifted how we think and view live shows. There's a running joke amongst Beyhive that once you see Beyonce live, anyone you see afterwards is just crap. It's not literal, but the sentiment is that Once you see Beyonce live, she is the standard. Beyonce is the greatest entertainer, the greatest performer. So when you see other people after Beyonce, it doesn't hit the same. And I can't lie, I went to a couple of concerts right after seeing Beyonce, and I can agree that it doesn't hit the same. There's something that's always missing. There's something that with Beyonce's performances that just give the vibe that she's the full package. But with other artists, there's always something that's like, I don't know, there's just something that's just not all the way there. That running joke always makes me laugh because I used to think people were being so dramatic when they spoke about seeing Beyonce live, having post Beyonce blues and post concert depression from a Beyonce concert, but I experienced it firsthand with the Renaissance tour, and they ain't lying, guys. They are not lying. When you see Beyonce, lives are changed. Many of our favorite celebrities today have mentioned how past Beyonce performances, past Beyonce shows have helped them prepare for their very own performances. Just last year, Rihanna took to the Super Bowl stage to perform for the first time in years, and when discussing this performance, she revealed in an interview that she had watched Beyonce's very own Super Bowl to help her prepare for her own. Shakira is another celebrity that attended the Renaissance tour in 2023 and was quoted saying she was taking notes. Was it just this year that Shakira was on her own tour and people were accusing her of reheating Beyonce's nachos? When other legends are studying you, that's how you know you're the GOAT. I'm sorry, there's just no other confirmation than when other legends celebrate you, when other legends support you, when other legends study you. You are the GOAT. You are the standard.
You are Beyonce. And
Beychella serves as a reminder to the world that Beyonce is a master in her craft. The levels of professionalism it takes to pull off a performance of this magnitude, a showcase like Beychella, is crazy, and she truly deserves all the praise and recognition for it, because that is some next level hard work and that is some next level dedication. Beyonce isn't just an entertainer, she's an architect of culture. This performance was a love letter to Black history and a masterclass in artistry, and just a reminder of what's possible when preparation meets vision. Guys, after making this video, I feel like I myself should enroll in HBCU. I really feel like I'm ready to enroll in HBCU. We have our own kind of similar vibe to HBCUs within our university. We have ACS, so we have African Caribbean Societies in our universities. But trust me guys, they don't hit the same. Now we've reached the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was so fun to make. This was so fun to discuss. I'd love to know what your favorite moment from Beychella was. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more videos like this in Kudzai's Corner, because these are my favorite kinds of videos. I did a lot of research for this video, so all of the sources and information that I used for this video will be linked in the description below. Thank you for taking your time out to watch me talk about one of my favorite artists in the world, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.